The claw machine is maybe the most magical piece of equipment you can find in your local arcades. However, is this thing actually a scam? A simple question, but it's not going to be having a simple answer, because the answer is going to be quite complex, because this thing can be adjusted. So can it be a scam? Yes, it can, but it can also be adjusted to a certain point, that it is not going to be a scam at all. So the question is, how can you adjust it and how does it actually work? In this video I'm just going to be showcasing how does a Lucky Claw or another arcade machine work. Some will have like a more complex software, and some can even go online and have it adjusted actually by remote, what I understand of. However, this is like the Lucky Claw and basic machine that does have like the option to adjust it. So let's deep dive into it. What are the elements that can be adjusted and when is it actually a scam? So the first thing is of course the price size. Will the claw even have the option to grab your, let's say, prizes? Of course, most of these, let's say, claws will have like the perfect fit, so I think I'm not to be afraid. However, depends how difficult it is. With that plush of the turtles, we had like a lot of problems because it is very difficult to overall grab. So it is like difficult to win these prizes. Time-wise, you can also adjust that too, because yep, we have only 20 seconds, so you need to be in a kind of a rush to actually position your claw perfectly. However, the prizes. I think that can be one of the things. So for example, these Pokemon cards are able to be grabbed fairly easy if they're laying in the right position. And the same goes with other prizes. So, you know, it depends what will they put in a machine and how difficult it is. For example, if you're going to be using the claw machine like that, it's going to be perfectly, and if the machine is set to 1-on-1, it will perfectly grab instantly. Also these tiny little balls, or let's say the figures or the ski chain, some of them are like easy to grab, and of course this is one of the elements. And then of course the question, how will the overall configuration be? If there are a lot of different prizes inside of the machine, you can actually just grab some of them fairly easy, but some are actually just underneath or just very difficult to grab for the claw. So it also depends what, how and how will it be. The next thing that can be adjusted is actually inside of the software itself. So some of the machines are more, let's say, extended with settings, but you can actually change out all kinds of different things, like having how much power it actually gets when winning or not winning, or let's say have like different voltages between actually if the claw is going to be used. Also the voltages, you can even adjust it, how much coins you need to put in before it's going to be giving away winning. Here you can see play time and everything can be adjusted. The winning way, I've been setting this in 1-on-1, but actually if you're going to be putting probabilities on, let's say 10, you're going to be needing 1 on 10 is going to be giving away the prize. And you know, we even have the adjustment to have like the air grab, so you can press twice over there, so it will actually grab, and you can have a little bit more control if it has been set to the right voltages, because also the voltages can be adjusted. So let's say you can just say tweak it to a certain level. If you're going to be putting this in, let's say 37.5, or let's say you're going to be lowering it, you're going to be using the turtle plush, and you know it's going to be grabbing, but it still have trouble grabbing the plush. Yeah, that's one of the ways you can actually just make it more of a difficult to actually get the prizes. And I will not use the word scam, but in the end, if you're going to be looking into all of these settings, you can adjust it to a certain level, so you can actually have more difficulty winning prizes. So yeah, there is a lot of different stuff you can actually adjust to have it in difficulty grabbing the prizes. So yep, this is actually one of those crazy things, and of course the adjustment of voltages, but also how long it will actually have this voltage, and everything can be adjusted. And if this machine even has the option, you can hold your certain prize into the claw, and it will actually like measure how much force it's going to be needing for the perfect grab, or at least not perfect, or to a certain level it's going to be like even more difficult. So you know, this is absolutely one of those things you can adjust to a claw machine. So in my opinion, there is nothing about like winning. So if you're going to be putting this on the best, let's say voltages, you're going to be saying, okay, this is going to be a 1-on-1 situation, so every coin will give you a prize, or at least you have the option to win a prize. In this way, then it's like pure, like how you're going to be positioning the claw and making this absolutely one of those things you need to have skills with. But beside that, you can adjust a lot here. So if you're going to be finding one of those machines in the wild, think about this video. I hope this video helped out. Thank you all for watching, and have fun playing on claw machines. So the machine has been filled up, and have just putting all kinds of different items inside of the machine. So we do a little bit of limitation over here, particularly when it comes to the top and the middle row. But beside that, everything seems to be fitting perfectly. So when it comes for playing, it's very easy. So you can actually see that for particularly when you're going to be having certain items like this smartwatch, you can just fairly easily grab that
Alweer een winnaar.
And also the sound effect in the native language Dutch has been adjusted. So you can do all kinds of sound effects. So when you're going to be having an Hulk,
Alweer een winnaar.